Welcome back to Fourth String. My name is Stud. I'm here with my best friend, my co-host. How you doing, Dan?
Doing pretty good, buddy. How you doing?
What shirt do you have on?
Oh, this whole thing?
Yeah,
Talking about this?
that's nice.
It's just a four string t-shirt that I got today. Super pumped about it.
So you're saying it's merch.
Yes, I am.
And you had to have paid full price, right?
I did. So I don't love being the creator of it, like it's kind of backwards a little bit,
But
you know.
What if someone else wanted that same shirt?
Well, then they could just go to the link that we've included and go get the 15% off until next Friday.
So you're saying that if someone wanted that shirt, they would not have to pay full price.
Till next week, they get 15%, baby.
15% off.
15%
for that shirt.
This shirt and plenty of other shirts. Good
That's
stuff.
nice.
Oh, and we've classied it up a little bit. Just drinking my beers out of a coffee mug now.
That's nice. But are those also 15% off?
They really are.
So you're saying everything.
Everything.
So even the hats.
Yep.
Even the sweatshirts.
Hats,
those are
aprons, sweatshirts, coffee mugs, mason jars. We got it all, and it's all 15%. So go 50%. Get it.
Wow.
Bang.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
That is nice.
I'm not gonna lie, the quality could be better, but that's why you go get it when it's 15% off, because hey, it's a little bit cheaper, and we've made the stuff fairly cheap already. So
yeah, pretty sure we received an email saying, hey, like, you realize that people typically charge like an extra $5 to $7.
I put it on the low.
Yeah,
I don't want to be charging fans too much money.
Like they actually told us, hey, you could be charging a lot more. Like,
yeah, we went lower
why
than
aren't
the
you?
recommended.
Yeah. Plus, it's 15% off on top of that.
You can't beat it.
For one more week, it's halfway over.
Yep.
Halfway done. The only people who have to pay full price are the two owners of it, of course.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Which I don't understand why I gotta pay full price. But point is that you, the wonderful listeners at home, get 15% off.
Facts. And hey, let me just say that even though you and I, like, it's Thursday right now, TGIF,
Oh, absolutely.
Happy freaking Friday, man.
It's Friday. It's
Yeah.
Friday.
Hell
It's
yeah.
Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
All right. Enough of this. Let's talk some
Okay,
sports,
yep.
baby.
All right. That's why I'm here. Sport talk.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to just roll into the Packers? Because obviously they're the
Sure do.
greatest team on earth.
Oh, facts. Well, I'm okay. Here's my thing. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little upsetting to be a Packer fan sometimes. Actually, a lot of times. So for those of you who don't know, they're looking to restructure Aaron Rodgers' contract so that they can free up some cap space, possibly make a move in free agency, or they could also use that to extend or re-sign Jair, because both of those things need to happen as well. So
Which you have to do.
You absolutely have to do it. It's the best receiver and the best corner in the league. So you got to keep him on your team.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of the disconnect, or like the reason it's not happened yet, is because Aaron Rodgers wants some assurances and wants to make sure that he's not going to be a lame duck. For those of you who don't know what a lame duck is, no, it's not a duck that's lame. It's not what the term means. A lame duck basically means, in football terms, he doesn't want to play this season, probably go off and be the MVP again, and then them being the Packers, just move on from him because they already found his successor. So when they use that term in politics, they're talking about, for example, you have the election, and then there's that short period of time when it's not always the president that was before the election. So in the recent election we just had, Donald Trump was the current president. He got beat out by Biden, but then there was that short stint of time where Trump was still in office before Biden got inaugurated. So that's known as being a lame duck because you already know that you're getting replaced. They have their successor, but you're still in office because of the timing of all the things. Mm-hmm. So Rodgers doesn't want to essentially be in office, quote unquote, and know that he's getting replaced anyways. So he's trying to get some assurances. I don't blame him. I think at this point, the Packers need to just admit that they fucked up, because I hate to say it, but I'm not sold on Jordan Love. The guy was, in my opinion, already a reach in that first round pick, but whatever, you got him. But then all you hear about last season is how he's struggling in practice. We're talking about practice. If you're struggling in practice, how are you going to fare against the ones
at the game?
In the game.
Not the game.
No.
Practice.
We talking about practice.
We talking about,
and he was struggling
practice.
In that. So it's like, how are you going to even think about cutting, releasing, trading, anything, getting rid of Aaron Rodgers, MVP, when your successor isn't even close to being ready?
Well,
it's a puzzler.
I saw this little number on my television that said that if we cut or trade him, well, no, not trade. I'm sorry. If we essentially cut him or move on from him after this upcoming season, the hit for him on the cap is $17 million.
That's a lot of
money.
Which
the following season drops down to $2 million, which is pennies on the dollar, which is not really shit. Well, I mean, for us to be like, oh wow, our worst set, but for a couple $1 billion franchise, $2 million is anything. So it's like, do we hold on to him for 2 more seasons and then pay a small fine and then move on? Or do we do what we probably should, and that's restructure and have the greatest quarterback probably ever be on our team forever, essentially, because then he'd be a Packer from the time he came in until the time he leaves. It was one thing to do the whole move on early from Favre,
completely different scenario.
Completely different. This, it's like, okay, this is not even close to that. You are not winning the lottery twice. Like, it just isn't happening. So
the other big difference with that situation is Aaron Rodgers could have been the number 1 pick that year. Should have been. Yes. 49ers choked that one, but he could have been the number 1 pick. Like, that was, you saw on the mock drafts leading up to that, he was the number 1 pick. And if he didn't go 1, he was going 2. So it's like, that's way different. He fell in our lap at 26 or whatever it was. So it's like completely different. Jordan Love was actually projected to go early 2nd round. some said late first. I mean, it was somewhere in there, and we traded up to go get him, even though we probably could have had him where we were at. So it's like, I don't understand the thinking there. Plus, then it's not like this dude just showed out in training camp last year and it was like, oh my God, like we got something here. No, they're talking about his footwork is not ready. His understanding of the playbook is not very strong. His accuracy is not very good. Why?
I mean, it is early. Let's put it out there.
By all
It is
cases,
early.
he's still a rookie.
Yes, he is still a rookie. Now, you did pay him for a whole season to do nothing because obviously he only has a 4-year contract with the 5th-year option. That first season is gone. So you have possibly 4 more. He's not probably seeing the field this year unless, knock on wood, a Rodgers injury. So
Right.
he
That's the
probably
only way
is.
he would see the field.
Yeah. So he probably isn't seeing the field this year. Then it's like, okay, do we cut Rodgers for 17, or do we hold him on for another season and then only have to pay $2 million? Okay, now that's 3 seasons of his first 5 gone. Then it's like, okay, say you end up cutting him. Now you have him on his rookie contract for 2 more seasons until you have to pay him. That is not ideal at all. That is just, look, that isn't how it.
Which, I mean, he would still have to earn a larger contract. I mean, just because you're
for sure,
you're off your rookie deal doesn't mean, oh, yep, now you got to pay me a max where I'm making $100 million. No. Like,
yeah,
you still gotta show us something to make yourself worth that. Which, I mean, I guess in a sense, it's harder to do in a 2-year span, or even a 1-year span. So, they're thinking maybe we can get him on his rookie deal and then pay him a small contract. I don't know. But my whole thinking on it is, if you have the franchise guy, what your quarterback gives you, why would you be trying to get rid of him at all? I mean, I think the Patriots are kicking themselves for letting Brady go. And I think that's why you saw the Buccaneers re-sign and extend Brady. They're going to let him play until he decides he doesn't want to anymore. And why wouldn't they? The guy takes a team-friendly deal so that they can build around him. Sure, he's not the most talented quarterback, but he does what he needs to, and he's a good leader. So it's like all the other franchises around the league should kind of be following that like scheme in a sense, because if you have a quarterback that's that great, like Aaron Rodgers, build around him. I'm pretty sure he would take a smaller pay cut so that you could get the guys needed.
You would hope
but
so.
He wants those assurances that he's going to be a Packer. I don't blame him, because you saw what they did to Favre. I mean, granted, Favre had that coming a little bit because he retired like 3 different times. So that's a little bit different again, but it's like Favre. Rodgers has said the entire time, I want to play here. I want to retire as a Packer. I want to finish out my career here. Let him. He's showing no signs of digressing at all. So you know what? Maybe you put in his contract, barring injury. I don't know how they would do this, but like,
I'm
barring
sure
injury,
they'll figure it out.
There's got to be some sort of way that you can legally or, professionally do this. If he doesn't get hurt, he's basically the Packers quarterback until he doesn't want to be anymore. As long as he doesn't get hurt or doesn't like totally digress where it's like, okay, his arm is clearly gone.
Yeah.
like, because I mean, I hate to say it, but a decent Aaron Rodgers, where maybe he's not playing at his highest level, still going to be better than I'd say 75 to 80% of the league. So
Yeah,
it's like,
and
why would you
Rodgers
even think about
himself Rodgers himself said how a down season for him is a career season for
Yes.
some other dudes. So it's like, hey, like I'll take a down Aaron
exactly that's my
Rodgers as
point.
long as it isn't it's just like, oh my lord, guy, it's time to hang it up.
Mhm.
Like, and that was kind of this sense that I saw from a guy like Drew Brees. It was like, okay, you clearly cannot throw past 20, 25 yards. It's time to retire. And he did.
Mhm.
So until he hits that point, it's like, why not?
Right.
Like,
I
why
mean,
not?
we've seen it
Yeah.
time and time again in the league where these quarterbacks who, like the teams give up on. Peyton Manning. Colts kind of gave up on him. He goes to the Broncos and he wins one.
Unless he took him to another one. I'm granted.
Now
They got absolutely smacked in that one.
Now, granted, the
But
Broncos were a good team. They had a great defense. So
yeah, it was all
how much
defense.
that was Peyton. That's not really the point. The point is that I feel like these franchises kind of give up on quarterbacks a little too soon, and then go watch them play in the Super Bowl for somebody else because a different franchise got it right. Favre, same thing. Favre was not done when he left the Packers. He played in with the Jets. He's kind of injury prone a little bit there. He had 2 really good seasons with Minnesota.
And he's
one of them went to the NFC Championship.
He's picked to Tracy Porter from reaching the Super Bowl. It's like
and we would have watched him play on the Vikings in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Do you want to see that happen again? Because if Aaron Rodgers goes to a different team, let's say, picture this. We keep Rodgers through 2022. Or no, it'd be 2023, right? Wouldn't it be $2 million?
Yeah. Yeah.
We keep him through then. They let him go for the $2 million. Just so happens that might be the year when Tom Brady possibly retires out of Tampa. Aaron Rodgers goes to Tampa with that squad. We're going to be watching Aaron Rodgers play in the Super Bowl with Tampa.
And
there's plenty of other teams that it could be the case. It's like, do you want to win a Super Bowl? Do you want to buy in, maybe get a couple rings in his last couple seasons? Or do you want to watch him go to a different team so that you can rebuild for the future with a guy that maybe could be good? Like, I just don't get the thought process.
Yeah, and do you want to kind of spoke off air on how if the deal ended up getting restructured, that would free up what 14.5 million or something.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, take that to a top end receiver, put him at 2. Now you got weapons upon weapons for him to throw to. Holy shit.
Right.
How our offense is by far number
and honestly,
one out there.
You really don't even need to do that. I mean, yes, it would be nice for them to maybe even say, hey, let's go trade for OBJ, because there's rumors that he's not happy in Cleveland. You go get OBJ and you have him alongside Devontae. Sheesh. I mean, the Packers had the number 1 offense last year with Devontae and a couple of varsity high schoolers.
Yeah.
Basically.
Some other guys.
I mean, it's actually not true because they're not bad, but that was,
some,
you see my point.
Some mid-level SEC receivers.
Mm-hmm. So the thinking is that Rodgers can make others look good. He's done it time and time again. So, and I think that's the Packers' thought process on why they don't go get receivers who are free agents or, even draft high receivers, because they have trust in Rodgers that they can draft a 3rd round receiver and he'll turn into a Devontae. Devontae was a 3rd round. So, I mean, there's, I guess, an open, what's the word I'm looking for? There's an open chance that you don't even need to spend in free agency. Keep your guys. Resign Devontae. Resign Jair. Keep your core guys. But then, come draft time, you're going to have to find a couple diamonds in the rough. And like that's the way the Packers have been. I don't hate that way of thinking, but I think if you open up that money that Rodgers has through his salary, you can really give yourself a chance to, like, for the first time ever, buy into a team. I mean, since 1996 or whatever it is, you could probably even maybe argue a couple other years, but we've had the 2 best quarterbacks ever back to back. And so far it's not the greatest, but he's top 5.
Yeah.
I mean,
to have a top 5 quarterback
to show for it.
To have a top 5 quarterback of all time, each of the past 30 seasons, minus the season that we put out, Seneca Wallace and
right.
Who else was out there? Matt Flynn. Mm-hmm. Outside of that season, we've had a top 5 quarterback of all time at the helm of our offense, and
with 2 rings to show for it.
2 rings and
that's a joke.
30 years. It's like, wow, okay.
Because I mean, you think about it, had the Packers maybe handled their team how the Patriots did with Brady, or how the Buccaneers are doing it with Brady now, and they built around those quarterbacks, it's not crazy to think the Packers could have had about 10 rings in the past 30 years, at least.
Yeah. I mean, that isn't even, 10 is probably a stretch, but to have as many as Brady, for sure. Because, I know that he's hated by a lot, especially you, but that just kind of shows the genius that he is. It's like, hey, I'm very good compared to a lot of other dudes. This amount of money is plenty. Mm-hmm. Take the rest. Find me a team.
Well, and hey,
and I will find you
bonus if you win the bowl.
Ring.
So,
yeah.
Hey, let's go win a few rings. Go add to the hardware.
Granted, not every quarterback has a supermodel wife who is paid more than he is. However,
Aaron Rodgers has an actress.
That isn't like that's only come about in the past year.
Before that, he had a famous race car driver.
Yeah,
that's true. The fact of the matter is, more often than not, these quarterbacks have successful wives.
Yeah.
True. Plus, they have more money than they can possibly know what to do with anyways.
Yeah.
Unless you're that stupid where you just go gamble it, or I don't even know, spend it on a bunch of dumb shit. Yeah. I don't see how you can work through that much money that these guys are making. It's not not possible.
Obviously, we can't really speak about that because we haven't even seen anywhere close to what they see, and we don't have that accessible. And when you have that accessible, it opens up a whole new realm of spending, of opportunities to maybe invest, say those investments fail. So it's like we can't even really put out a good opinion on that until we ourselves maybe, I don't know, somehow see 7 or 8 figures. But until then, it's like, okay, you have plenty of money. When does money not become the top option? When does a title
Winning
become
take
the top
precedent.
option?
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's at the point of Rick Rodgers, and I think that he wants to do that, but the Packers don't want to at this point because they see in 2 seasons, hey, they only have to pay $2 million to move on. Might not be terrible, which, of course, in our opinion, is wrong. But
well, I mean, the other thing I was kind of thinking about is it's not like quarterbacks are just going to stop coming in drafts. I mean, take this year's draft, for example. Kind of the area where the Packers are picking in the draft, the quarterback that they would get, say they didn't have Jordan Love, the quarterback that they would get would probably be like Mac Jones. All right. SEC quarterback. He had a pretty solid tenure with Alabama.
He just won a national championship.
Right. Are we really able to say that Jordan Love is so much better? Like, oh, he's totally our guy over a guy like Mac Jones? I would say no.
I'd say no. Yeah.
Because honestly, to me, granted, I don't see what the scouts see. I don't see maybe what they saw at training camp or behind closed doors. But to me, those two are about the same. So it's like, why do we care so much about Jordan Love? Why can't we, that's fine. Whatever, you made your choice. He can be the backup now. But why can't we just assume that Aaron Rodgers is our guy until he can't anymore or doesn't want to anymore? And then you get a guy similar to Mac Jones or Jordan Love, maybe a couple years down the road. There's going to be quarterbacks like him coming.
Yeah, and
unless you think Jordan Love is the guy. I don't know.
And to feed off of that, something that I kind of actually I just thought of. They are similar talent-wise, but they're also completely different in this manner. Mac Jones has tasted a championship. He knows how to win. He knows what it feels like to be on top.
Yeah.
So he's felt that, he's experienced that. So of course he wants to experience that.
In that sense, he's got a leg up over Love.
Yes. So in that sense, that experience of, hey, I come from probably the best college football team program ever, as opposed to Utah State.
They don't see a ton of good football.
No. I mean, I could be wrong, but they don't really see a ton of good anything.
I mean, I'd have to look, but
yes.
I'd be willing to guess and say that he faced, I mean, you could probably count on one hand his tenure at Utah State. He probably faced, I would say, 5 ranked teams in his whole time there. That would be my guess. I don't actually know, but that would be my guess on how many.
That. Yeah, we
so it's
probably
like,
have to fact check that, but I do see what you're saying there. And for Alabama, it's like, hey, he has seen either the college football playoff or a national title. Well, shit, he won a title behind Tua, I believe. And then he comes on as this starter, has a second title. So it's like,
He
hey,
has seen,
I've seen
he has
this
seen the
success.
best. He's seen the best that college football defenses have to offer.
Exactly.
Whereas you can't
And
say
he's
the same for
succeeded.
Jordan Love.
And he's succeeded. So if you're going to trade up and take a shot at someone, you should have traded up for him. Now, granted, obviously, he hasn't even been drafted yet, so that is even possible.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's the kind of approach that you're taking, it's like, hey, we probably should have done that for Mac Jones. And just the fact that he's played such more elite football, won and succeeded, like that, he just has so much higher of a kind of value. And
well, that's my point.
Love does.
Like Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, they're gonna keep producing these quarterbacks like this, like the Mac Jones type. So it's like, what are you so concerned about that you have to get one now? You're not in a rush. I understand that maybe they thought that because Rodgers was coming off some injuries, some mediocre, rough seasons, whatever. But he just won the MVP. So why are we having these conversations about, in 2 years he's going to be done? No.
As soon as like the actions of drafting him were justifiable to an extent, justifiable. Sure. But as soon as he won the MVP and damn near took us to a Super Bowl, it's like, okay, shit, my bad.
Honestly,
you ain't
the way
done.
I look at it, this is my analogy here. So it's almost, now I've never done this, right hand to God, never cheated in my life on a significant other. But it kind of feels like, I've been having a mistress, we'll call it, the entire time, just kind of, having my fun, whatever. But then I got caught. And now it's like, okay, do I admit I was wrong and I fudged up? Sorry, I'm going to try and make it work with my wife or girlfriend or vice versa, boyfriend, whatever it is for you. Or am I going to carry on with the mistress kind of thing? Because it's like, you cheated and it ended up backfiring. You thought you were going to just kind of like slide under the rug a little bit, get away with it.
I mean, I see the analogy.
And then you got caught.
I see the analogy, but you're missing the part where you kind of you cheat, and then it hits that point of, okay, I want a divorce, and then the mistress becomes your wife. That's essentially what they were trying to do, is just have their side hoe, and then at the most convenient time for them say, okay, divorce, and then, oh, hey, come on over, side hoe. That's essentially what they were trying to do.
And then the current wife goes out and buys you a new car or something. It's like, oh, damn. I think I fucked up. I think I messed this up. And then you find out that the mistress is totally shit.
Yeah.
She sucks.
Yeah.
Her footwork is not good.
Yeah. She is terrible knowledge of the playbook. It's awful.
Right. So, I mean, I think it's just time to kind of admit that you effed up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's a shame because if you think about it, that first round pick probably could have pushed us into this Super Bowl.
I would agree.
I think that it just hurts that much more that knowing that had we made use of that, we could have another title. In theory, that is a very good possibility. Sure, we could have shown up and then got the piss beat out of us by the Chiefs. But hey,
Right.
at least we hate it. Like, sure, it'd be terrible to lose in this
Well, I mean,
Super Bowl, but
the
I mean,
fact of the
I'd
matter
rather
is,
make it to the
right?
Super Bowl than not.
Tough to say that, because losing in the bowl would be, that'd be rough.
Yeah.
But no, the fact of the matter is, the Packers had the number one offense last year, and they're pretty much bringing everybody back minus Corey Linsley and Jamal Williams. Other than that, we got everybody back. So your offense is honestly fine.
Yeah.
But there's work to be done on defense. So I'd like to think that they're going to address those needs in the draft and hopefully get some pass rush, some other corner help. I mean,
yeah, and signing back Kevin King for $6 million is arguably the biggest waste of $6 million ever.
I thought it was a little high.
I thought it was terrible.
I hate that they brought him back.
I hate it.
I hate that they spent $6 million. That seems like a lot.
He'd be worth the minimum, if that, in my mind.
Okay, but was anybody coming in and knocking down the door to sign him? No, probably not. So I almost feel like you could have kept him for $2 million, $3 million, maybe. And then he's fine, because if you're paying that minimum for your number 3 corner, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Because he can be a number 3. He just can't be a number 2. So you go get Asante Samuel in this year's draft, Asante Samuel Jr. Go get him in the draft this year. Then you got Jair and Samuel with King as your 3. That I'm okay with. That's a pretty solid secondary then.
I mean, I
still need pass rush, but
I still don't think so, because the guy got torched by a number 3.
That I think was more just
a number 3, arguably 4, depending on who else is on the lineup. And he got torched.
That's more of just a brain fart in a sense. Which, I mean, hopefully he doesn't have to.
You just got to keep the ball out of the end zone. That's the only thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's a brain fart, because he was playing man coverage on the guy when he should have just been in a prevent and guarded the end zone. So he just, for some reason, didn't think it through there. Other than the NFC Championship, though, Kevin King didn't have a terrible season. He just decided to have the worst game a corner can possibly have ever in the NFC Championship. I mean, but both of his mistakes were the not thinking and guarding Scotty Miller in the end zone and mistiming a jump on Mike Evans.
Yeah, about to say. I mean, it's plus he got cooked by Evans, which
he didn't even get cooked. He just jumped about 20 seconds early.
Yeah, but he
times that right, and he makes a pick right there, and that's a game changer.
Shit, or
he was all over him.
At least prevent the
or just
prevent the touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
I think
like, oh hey, cool.
Yeah. Oh hey, okay, you're already on the ground. Right. Yeah, here, I'll catch this. Sure, I'll catch this. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't like it, but truth of the matter, the fact of it is that he's back. Whether like it or not, he's back, and hopefully he can figure it out.
He's got to earn it this year. I mean, if he wants to sign a long-term deal with anybody, whether it's the Packers or any other team, he's got to earn it this year.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of his make or break year this year.
Yeah. If I were him, I'd be saving all of that $6 million, because there isn't a guarantee that he can move on past this if he's on another terrible season.
But that's just it. He didn't have a terrible season. He's actually a solid corner if you look at it from a regular season standpoint. It was just that playoff game that, boy, did he look bad. So, I mean, it's tough, but you got to, I mean, if you want to play on a contending team, you got to put it all together. You got to be good in the playoffs too, because with the Packers, you're going to be in the playoffs. So it's like, we need you when the big moments come along, and we just didn't have them in those couple moments in the NFC Championship. But
yeah,
I don't know. Moving on, I think we got a good, solid 45 minutes or so on the Packers. Not actually.
Love that.
Like
yeah, no, that's probably way over exaggerated, but who cares?
Keeping it on football, though, we talked about it a little bit last week, but there's been kind of a lot of changes since. What is the deal with Deshaun Watson?
All right, this guy.
Last week when we talked about it, there was like 1 or 2. Now there's like 16.
This guy is either the world's biggest pervert or just the world's most unlucky motherfucker out there. Like he's either the most just sick dude out there, or someone's out to get him. Like there isn't really any in between. It's either he's a quote unquote from a female that like said this, called him a quote unquote serial predator. So he's either a serial predator or he is the victim of a huge cried wolf type thing. Yeah. And it's like, there isn't any facts out. It's like, what's going on here?
Right.
I mean,
yeah, it's
this is America.
Extremely like bizarre situation.
Yeah, and this is America, so you are innocent until proved guilty. Yep. So until any facts come out that can prove him guilty, I say we treat him as innocent. But
yes, but it's also difficult when you got 16 women,
yeah,
all kind of saying similar things, and it's like, okay, if it was 1 or 2, okay, I don't really believe it. 16 witnesses? I mean,
that is a lot.
That's a lot of women all saying basically the same thing. So it's kind of like, all right, dude, like what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to the point of, okay, some facts have to start coming out. Right. Like, feed us something other than another 10 loss.
Yeah, different allegations.
Like, yeah, how about you tell us, hey, like he was seen by person X touching person Y,
right?
While person C recorded them. It's like,
right. If
there's anything out, like it's
I mean, to be honest, he was so concerned about not wanting to play in Houston. At this point, the guy should be concerned on if he will ever play down of football again.
Yeah,
because if he's guilty, and even half of these allegations are true, he's done.
Yeah.
I mean, his career is over because the NFL will make a kind of an example of him.
Oh, for sure.
And will not allow him in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the repercussions that Josh Gordon got for smoking weed.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, you have to think about it. His earnings up to this season will probably be gone because he'll have to pay fines and fees and all that shit. So his family like won't be set up while he's in prison. He'll be back to pre-NFL contract kind of life. So it's like your money will be gone. Your life will be gone. And at some point in time, if he is guilty, the two of us will be valued more than him. Which is crazy.
And he'll have a
probably a life sentence.
I'm not sure what the
depending on
get for that.
Depending on the allocations, I mean, if it's like like full on sexual assault, that's obviously like a 25 to life type
Right.
thing. If it was like he's a pervert, I mean, by
Like a
no
harassment
means
kind of thing.
by no means am I educated on the law, but I'm assuming it'll be like maybe 15 if he pleads guilty, and then after he's out, he's just hated by everybody.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Well, and I mean, like in the NFL as a whole, women are starting to play a bigger part of it.
yeah. There's
So what would the NFL be saying?
refs,
Yeah,
coaches.
I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, maybe even players.
kicker. Probably
Yeah,
I could
something.
see a
But point being is,
punter.
what is the NFL saying if, you know, if he comes out as guilty, or maybe they don't even find more evidence? So it's kind of just a question mark type thing, you know, where he's not innocent and these people were lying, but they also couldn't find evidence to like indict him and make him guilty kind of thing. What is the NFL saying if they just kind of let him back in with open arms? They're basically saying that they don't care. They're not bothered by it.
Yeah,
So
and
that's not going to happen. It's a different world than when Ben Roethlisberger did this.
yeah, it's a big.
It's a very
yeah.
different world.
I mean, it's just one of those things that it's like he really is. He's either a serial predator or he is a victim of probably the biggest like scandal that a player could probably ever see.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, if you start putting out that sexual assault claim, it's like, ooh,
not looking good for you, buddy.
Your life might be over.
Right. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have been so concerned about a trade and a little bit more about not being in the papers and every internet site and things like that about sexual harassment.
Which, I mean, I think it's safe to say that can speak for each of us, but we are a very pro no means no podcast. Like, if you get told no, it's no, guy. Just because you're rich and famous does not mean, oh, well, too fucking bad.
Agreed.
Like, it's happening. Very pro no means no.
Right.
Pod over here.
I don't even know, because it's so strange to think that like they could even think that they'd get away with it. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, even a non-football fan could easily figure out, like say he goes into the massage therapist. This woman has no idea who he is, just assuming it's another guy. Mm-hmm. But then all of a sudden, Janie at the front desk says, "Did you just massage Deshaun Watson?" Yeah. Who cares? Who is that? He's the quarterback of the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Boom.
He's being paid $40 million a year.
Right. Because if, the massage therapist is thinking, oh, this is just another asshole, nothing happens. Nothing comes from it.
Yeah.
But if she finds out, oh, he's worth a shitload of money, oh, I can make some money off of this.
Yeah.
Like, what he just did was wrong, so I'm going to go after him.
Well, I think, like, it's not helping that he just hasn't said anything either.
He said he wanted to clear his name at first, and that was about it. That's like all you.
I'm sure that his PR team and his attorneys are saying, hey, just...
Oh, they're probably telling him to lay low.
Shut up until this is, like, finished. But it's like, guy, like, I mean... And,
I would like to hear kind of his justification of all this.
I would, too. Because, like I said, this is America, the greatest country in the world, in my opinion. And here you are innocent until proven guilty, or at least you should be.
Right.
That's how it should be. So,
Correct.
in my opinion, I just say, hey, until all these facts are out, we hear both sides as to what happened, and then his kind of response to that. I say we just can't even move forward on any explanation because it's just one of those spicy things of like there's sexual assault involved, and that is never a good thing to have.
Yeah. No. Definitely not what you want.
Not what you want at all.
I mean, it's like part of me feels bad for the guy because it's like I don't know the full story, so you want to assume it's not true.
Yes.
And that somebody's kind of out to get him kind of thing. But then it's like I'm going to be really upset if I let myself feel bad for this guy and then he ends up being guilty.
Oh, if he's guilty,
at that point,
if he's guilty, yeah. If he's guilty, I think that we will probably be the first pod to ruin this dude and just shit on him, call him a fucking piece of trash, just be like, yo, you are a piece of...
Have fun in jail, dude.
Yeah, like, try not to drop this soap, like...
Well, and I mean, like, I obviously have never been to prison. I will not even speculate on this, but
I don't want to be.
I would assume that he would not have a very good time.
No, I think that they'll be like, "Ooh, pretty boy, what's up, quarterback? How you doing? Come here."
Not only that, but they would know what he's in for, and he would be hated by everyone in there as well.
They would probably have to put him in like solitary out of and pop.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is what it is. Hey, in other news, 7 days till opening day.
I just put in
7
PTO for opening day. I will be there. I will be there. I will be heavily intoxicated, as per every
not in the parking lot. You
opening day. No, I will be doing my pre-entrance drinking at a family member's house before they drive me there, because we are not a pro drinking and driving podcast. We do not drink and drive. If you drink, have someone else drive you, and that's what I'm doing. And I cannot be excited. And I would just like to say Gelly is back.
Hey, shout out to Mike.
Gelly's back,
because whatever that
absolutely
that podcast just opened him up. He's been on an absolute tear. So
yeah, I mean, he is just playing out of his mind. Granted, it is spring, but it's like, okay, you're still facing the same dudes. Sure, he himself on the pod said it's completely different because these pitchers are just trying to feel themselves. They're trying to maybe change up an angle or
working on things,
pitch. Yeah. They're trying to find some shit, so they don't care if you take them 500 feet.
Their best stuff yet, yeah.
Yeah, no. But we are positive people, and when positivity comes, we embrace it. And I can't tell you how excited I am for Gelly to be back on his MVP.
He had a rough year last year, but I mean, I think he's got it figured out, and he's well on his way to. I'm not going to speculate and say, oh yeah, he's going to be MVP this year, because we haven't even had a real game yet. But
yeah,
I mean, I would just like to see him, kind of back in his element where he's doing yelly things and just tearing cover off baseballs for a living. Because we love
Yelly hitting bombs has become a part of my like kind of daily baseball summer kind of routine.
Yeah.
Like I become accustomed to seeing him hit balls further than probably either of us ever could
Oh, 100%.
combined. It's just like it's a
Probably.
beautiful thing. It's just exciting because first off, I want you to take on this. I saw this. I was like, oh, that's interesting, but perfect for the pod. So I haven't even said this to you. So folks at home, you're getting a fresh reaction. I think I saw it on MLB Network or Fox. It was some major sports page. They have the Brewers projected at 90.5 wins on the season and the Central Division champions.
Well, how do you get 90.5?
90 what? How
do you get a half a win?
I don't know, bub. Hands over under. But they have them projected at 90.5 and to take home the Central. And if I recall, that's like they have them projected as like this second seed in the entire NL, which is like, I would love that, but I want your opinion on like, will that happen? Is that kind of out there? Like, just what are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, I mean, I do think that our pitching is going to be really solid this year, which I feel like is where we were lacking in years past. I'm between Woody, Burns. I mean, there's a bunch of good guys, and that's not even talking about the bullpen. The bullpen has been solid for the past few years, but it's our starters who were meh. No. Outside of Woody, it was kind of weak. But I feel like our starters are pretty solid this year, and oh my God, Devin Williams' changeup is unbelievable. So I'm excited to see that guy in year 2.
If I ever had to see that changeup, I'd probably just say, all right, it's time to.
Have you ever seen Rookie of the Year?
It's time to retire.
Ever seen Rookie of the Year? Henry Rowan Gardner.
Is that the going with the
kid breaks his arm and then he can throw really hard plays for the Cubs? Yep.
Yeah, him.
So there's a part in that movie where he's hitting for the first time. He gets in the box and he stands basically as far away as possible. He's in the back corner and he's just like kind of shaking in his cleats a little bit. And before the guy even like starts to wind up, he's going, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's how I would be against Devin Williams.
No, how I would be, primo, just this exact thing would probably happen. I would be Howie from the Benchwarmers. I wouldn't even take a bat. I'd take a fucking sword up there and I'd go behind the ump and he'd be like, no, son, you have to go in the batter's box. That'd be me.
Anyway, so off topic a little bit, but anyway, my thoughts on it are, I do think that the Brewers can win the Central. Excuse me. By no means will that be easy because the Central is a tough division. Especially with, was it Arenado just went to the Cardinals? Cardinals are going to be tough. The Cubs should still be pretty decent. It's not going to be easy. The Reds are going to be tough. The Central is going to be a tough division. So I do think they can win it. And I honestly could see even a number 2 seed. My thing is I feel like the 90.5 is a little low. Not so much in where they're going to be. I'm just not sure that 90.5 will be enough to put them in that spot.
Oh, yeah.
To be the number 2 seed and to win the Central. I feel like you got to have at least 100 wins to get that. So That's kind of my take on it, because you know the Dodgers are going to be right around there.
Yeah. I forget. Go remember, this isn't a full 162. It's right, isn't it?
It was.
I don't know. I thought it was like 150. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. Yeah. Well, you fact check. I think that they for sure have the chance to take the Central. I don't think the Cubs will do it. I just don't. They traded a Darvish. They kind of had some other changes. They don't have Kyle Schwarber. Sure, they brought in Joc Peterson, but they just aren't that like 2016 team anymore. I know.
Yeah, it's 100, it's 162.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I mean, we're back to full year.
All right.
So I think you got to win 100.
Yeah. Cubs. I think their fans are still stuck in 2016, but they are not the team anymore. So I think it'll be, in my opinion, the Cubs will be fighting for second or third. I think that top spot is between us and the Cardinals. I mean, you just can't.
The Pirates are no pushover either. You know, I mean, like,
they're on the come up,
and they always seem to have our number too.
They'll probably be 4 or 5, but I can see them really being a threat in like 2-3 seasons.
Yeah.
When their young talent has now been in the majors for 3, 4, 5 seasons, it's like, oh, like, hey, look, like our team is pretty solid. So I think for now the Pirates will probably end up at 5. Reds had their shot, lost power. So I think it'll be between us and the Cardinals for that top spot, and then the Cubs, it'll be probably fight for second and a wild card.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I think the Brewers have just as good a chance as anybody. I mean, with the talent that we have all the way around, to really kind of make this season their destiny in a sense, up until you get to the Dodgers. I just think the Dodgers have so much firepower between their pitching and their hitting as a whole. You know, I mean, their entire roster is just stacked. So it would be tough to win a series against them to make it to hopefully the World Series at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, baseball is a funny game. So you got to get hot at the right time. You got to keep guys healthy. And then it's really anybody's game. You know, I mean, baseball is kind of different that way, where guys can get hot for no reason in the last month of the season, things like that. So, I mean, you obviously got to keep it going throughout the 162 to put yourself in a spot, you know, and have that maintained success throughout the year. But they could have a real shot at making the season pretty fun for us as Brewer fans.
I think so too. To be honest, I think it'll be a fun season because, like we said, we have those kind of high expectations for Yeli. Hira is
excited about for sure.
Hitting the cover off the ball too. You got
Jackie Bradley,
Avi,
Jr., Colton Wong,
finally
going nuts.
finding his hit. You got just all these other dudes that are finally just kind of finding it. It's like, okay, like, hey, we have like a shot here.
The other thing to kind of think about is you got to wonder, certain somebody who is not currently on the roster but maybe starts seeing the Brewers get hot,
Is he an MVP?
wants to get involved a little bit. He
Is he
kind
an
of has the
MVP?
number of these two guys up here,
Is he an
which is number
MVP?
8 for those of you who are just doing audio.
Is he an
He
MVP?
was an MVP, yes.
He's an MVP. Ooh, that can only mean one man.
Yes.
One myth. One legend.
He's a Brewer
Grind
legend, that's for sure. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you got to wonder. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Brewers start
You have to
getting hot,
put.
little September call up, if you will.
All right, hold on. I don't want him to just show up in September.
I don't either. I want him
but to come in like late July because
Yeah.
obviously he has to see these pictures again. He
Sure.
has to kind of get back into it. So he'll probably be like, ain't that hot for like the end of July into August, maybe even early September. But as long as he can turn it on by October, let's get my man's a ring. Even though
that's what I'm saying, and I could see him, maybe just kind of letting the Brewers do their thing early on. Like go without me.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, maybe they're the first in the Central. They're
maybe
fully on their way to
7-8 games ahead of.
Fully on their way to being a playoff team.
Yeah, it's like okay.
All-Star break comes along, and it's like, I think I could come back. I've stayed in shape. Maybe I've been doing hitting
a
stuff.
September roster spot shows up or whatever it is. Didn't they change it so it's only like one or two spots?
Yeah.
It was like so crazy, but hey, like
damn well that they would be putting Ryan Braun on the roster if he wants to be, though. So
they should.
I mean, just for his bat, I think he could come in a late situation and be pretty nice to have in September, October baseball. So
my dream is to have him hit some sort of like just walk off or
series or something.
Go ahead homer to like put us into the series, just some shit, and then it just puts an
it'd be unbelievable.
The exclamation point on everybody who hates him. It's like, hey, well, too fucking bad he has this series ring now. Like, suck on it.
I'm all for it.
Haters.
And honestly, at that point, Ryan Braun, Hall of Famer? ?
Unfortunately, no, because of that cheating thing. Like I'm sorry, but look, he's in the same.
It's kind of a deal breaker.
He's in the same conversation as Barry Bonds, and if Barry Bonds is not
in
the Hall of Fame yet,
good point. All right, so then let's play what if. Let's say he didn't cheat. Does he have enough to get in? Like if those numbers weren't cheating numbers,
with or without the World Series,
gets a ring this year. We're just playing what if.
Yes.
You think so? I would
agree. I wouldn't say first ballot. No. I'd say it would be like maybe 3 or 4, possibly even 5. But I'd say that he would kind of fall under the Todd Helton, the Edgar Martinez type, who they kind of sat on the ballot. But hey, they're in,
baby. Who cares?
Call now, like,
right?
Who gives a shit? They're in now. Like,
well, and you know what? I mean, fact of the matter is that he'll be a Brewer Hall of Famer regardless.
Oh,
even if
you
he
have
doesn't
to
come back this year. I mean, he'll be in there. So.
You have to build him a statue for sure.
I'm not totally sure if they'll do that, but
they should.
They'll definitely put his big old 8 on the side of the new American Family Field.
Well, as long as his number is retired and
yeah,
he'll
get a nice banner up next to Molitor and Yount and those guys. So I mean,
Growley,
he'll be remembered as a Brewer and in that Hall of Fame. But I think because of the
Yeah.
Cheating, we'll call it. He won't.
He
won't be in Cooperstown, unfortunately.
Yeah, no. And that is even if he does get a ring, like it just won't happen because I mean, like as long as the home run champ isn't in, it's like okay, no one else is getting in. Like if you
if they ever cheated, no.
Yeah, it's like no. The first cheater to be put in should be
it would have to be Bonds, yeah.
And I'm speaking for myself because I don't know, but I'm assuming that you feel the same way. I've said this time again. Very pro Perry. That man should be in Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I've said it time and time again. I do think Bonds.
Yeah, but until he's in, until like Sammy Sosa's in, until all those dudes are in, it's like he doesn't have.
My whole thinking on that though is Bonds is different from the rest of those guys because Bonds should have been in based on his pre-cheating numbers.
True.
Like he was that good. So and I've said that before. I mean, I just think with him it's a little bit different because it's like, he cheated. That's how he became the home run king, if you want to go there. But it's like the fact of the matter is that he was arguably the greatest hitter of all time, even before any needle was involved. So it's like, or pills, however he did it. I don't really know. I wasn't there,
whatever it is.
However he cheated, he was arguably the greatest hitter of all time prior to that. And he was probably using for recovery purposes, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that probably is it, because that's what most did it for. I mean, obviously you think of greatest hitters of all time, you have to put in Ty Cobb, Ted Williams, Pete Rose, but like Barry Bonds is not far off that. No. And I mean, if obviously back to our Ryan Braun kind of takes, like when he was in his prime, like he was one of the best
he was
hitters out there too.
Yeah.
Like I remember what did he hit, like 340 like twice or something? Like he just went
raked.
Yeah, he just went crazy. Now, is that a result of the steroids?
It's tough to say
arguable because you don't really know. But the fact of the matter is that he'll for sure be a Brewers like
oh, for sure, he's a Brewer Hall of Famer,
legend / Hall of Famer. But
absolutely,
he won't ever see Cooperstown,
right?
Unfortunately, now.
Yeah, no, I mean.
Yelly, on the other hand, if he continues playing, he plays for as long as he plays.
That longevity, but
like as long as he plays at least close to the level that he's played his entire career through his contract, and then maybe do another like 3 or 4 seasons after that. Hey, we might see Yelly in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which
I
would be amazing.
I wouldn't count that out for sure. I mean, he's definitely on his way. But switching gears here, because I'm actually watching. I got Portland, Miami on in the background here, and it's the fourth quarter, 97-96. Portland's winning. It got me thinking about. Sorry, I assumed you would have been able to figure that out, but
soccer.
No, it got me thinking about the move that Miami made today in getting Victor Oladipo at the trade deadline.
Yes.
I mean, Miami is going to be them and Brooklyn. I think are going to be the teams to kind of be worried about.
Yes, we did kind of touch on this off-air pre-show. Now, to just kind of bring that back to like, obviously, it's pretty well known 2019 was our shot for the Bucks. Fumbled it. Whatever, the Bubbles sucked. Were solid this year. By no means are we not a contender, but in comparative to the past couple seasons, I just don't think that we are as big of a competitor that we
defense hasn't been
were.
great.
Yeah, I think
defense against a 3.
Like Brooklyn is obviously just, they're pretty much in a league of their own. Celtics, as you were saying off there, got Fournier.
Yeah.
That obviously helped them a ton. They aren't any slouch, even though they are only the 8th seed, but this season isn't over yet. Philly, obviously, say the healthy.
I mean, Philly's going to need Embiid back.
Yeah, but they will need Embiid. Miami, though,
the way that he was prior to injury, too.
Yes, Miami, though, picking up Philo, it sucks because I would have loved him for us.
Yeah, it would have been sweet to see him.
That would have been pretty nice, and now to have him on, of all teams, the team that sent us home, it's just like, son of a bitch. Like,
yeah, I mean, it hurts. Miami.
Yeah,
Miami's a tough team. And they just got significantly better. Only losing, who was it? Olynyk and
Avery Bradley and
Avery Bradley, in a pick
swap.
Which, I mean, yes, the pick has an effect, but you're not too concerned about that now.
Picks are for people who are looking to the future. The Heat aren't.
Right. The Heat are looking to the future. They don't have to.
They're looking for today, and it's not going to be a fun path to the finals if we see a path to the finals. And then even if we do get to the finals, I mean, it's safe to say we'll probably see the Lakers there. Probably, obviously, you can count out the
the
Clippers.
Fact, the
Utah is good.
The crazy part to me is
Denver's good.
I think the East is a little bit deeper than the West, personally.
Yeah.
Both conferences are pretty solid up at the top, but I think the East is a little stronger.
Mm-hmm.
How Miami was able to keep Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero and still make trades, and they just added Ariza last week. How they were able to do that is beyond me, because, I mean, Hero's a stud, and so is Duncan. I mean, Hero, I just looked at the box score. Hero's got 28 tonight against Portland, and he's going nuts here in the fourth quarter that I've been watching. So, I mean, how they were able to keep some of their younger studs, it's like, yeah, all right, have our pick. We got our young squad. Like, we don't need that pick. I mean, so they're going to be a team to be reckoned with not only this year, but in years coming too. So they're scary. And Brooklyn, the freaking cheaters that they are, in my opinion, you got to worry about them. I mean, I just think the East is going to be an absolute bitch to get through. But if you do, other than Denver on the West side, Denver, and I guess you could say the Lakers when they're healthy.
What's to say?
I think the Bucks are the best team. Like, let's say we make it out of the East. I think the Bucks are a better squad than Denver or LA, either LA that you want to make a case for.
See, as much as it pains me to compare them to us, but it's such a good comparison. The Utah Jazz are the 2019 Bucks. Crazy in the regular season.
Yeah.
Just went bananas.
Doesn't scare me.
Yeah, it's like I'm
not sure why.
Well, it's because they have so many similarities to us, and people saw, hey, come playoff time, they didn't really become a threat. So,
right.
like they're just be counted out, even though they're the top seed.
Right.
Not only the top seed, but the number one team in all of basketball. They have the best record, and it's just like they don't feel like a threat.
Right.
It just feels as if in the West, it's Lakers, Clippers, and Denver, and like that's it.
I would agree.
Yeah, and there's obviously so many like what ifs, and if they play these guys, if they play these guys, and then if the stars align, if they eat all their vitamins on that day, it's like there's all what ifs. But at the end of the day, I am mentally preparing myself for another heartbreaking loss, just because we're a Wisconsin sports team fan, and that's what always happens. And that's why there's a key word of resiliency.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be an interesting kind of wind down to the NBA season, but I mean, I think it should be a good one. I guess honestly, let's wrap this up and think about kind of staying in basketball, but going to the lower level.
I was about to say,
who do you like?
March Madness?
Who do you like as the Final Four for you? For who you think will get there?
Well, I'll tell you here. I'm pulling up my main bracket. Yep, okay. Because I have like 4 of them. Of course. But my main bracket is already screwed because I had Illinois in the final. Yeah.
Okay.
I had Illinois in the final. Well, because they were insanely hot for the Big Ten tournament. So I was like, oh, this is carrying on. And they just hit this buzzsaw of Cameron Krutwig and Sister Jean. Like, I was not seeing that along with everybody else in the world. But so anyways, my Final Four currently in that bracket is Gonzaga, Michigan, Illinois, who's obviously out, and Arkansas. Now, seeing everything that's transpired so far, I would like to swap Illinois for Syracuse because Putty Boeheim is playing out of his mind. That whole team is just insane. I think they will get past Houston. I think that probably Sister Jean takes them to an Elite Eight, and then Syracuse just finishes it. So I'm going to keep.
Okay.
So I'm going to hold on to
Syracuse in the Final Four.
Yes. So I like Syracuse. You obviously have to put in Gonzaga. They're just too much of a powerhouse to not put in there. I have Michigan in there. Based on who is left, I'm probably going to hold on to them. I'm kind of hesitant to not put in Alabama, but I think I'll hold on to them. And then for my South, I think I'm going to hold on to Arkansas just because I don't want all those number
Oh,
ones.
ugh,
I don't like. I don't like to have three ones in there because it usually isn't ever
right, right.
three. So I'm gonna hold my two ones of Gonzaga and Michigan, and then I'll do Arkansas and Syracuse. And then, to be honest, Arkansas versus Syracuse in the Final Four. I'm kind of thinking Syracuse is going to take that one. It'll be Gonzaga versus Syracuse, and then I got obviously Gonzaga taking it home. So that's pretty much the entire
getting it done in March, huh?
Yep, that's pretty much the entirety of my
choke in March.
Yep. Well, not this year because I have a futures on them. So if they
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So I'm a little bit biased, but
sure.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So I got those guys.
Okay, so I'm going with I think Loyola is going to beat Oregon State.
Okay.
I think they just got too much momentum to not win that game. Syracuse will beat Houston, so it'll be Syracuse and Loyola.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Syracuse in that one. I think the reign of Sister Jean come dead in the Elite Eight.
All on the Syracuse train.
I agree with the Syracuse
train.
I mean, like you said, Buddy Boeheim is just going nuts right now. Baylor, I think, is going to beat Villanova. I think Oral Roberts is going to beat Arkansas.
You're nuts, dude.
I'm going to ride that wave of ORU.
You're nuts. It's not happening.
So, okay, but either way, even if ORU doesn't beat Arkansas, let's say either team moves on, I think Baylor's getting in anyways. So I think it'll be Baylor, Syracuse in the Final Four matchup. Gonzaga should beat Creighton. And we'll go with the Ducks over USC. So Oregon versus Gonzaga. Gonzaga's going to win that. Bama over UCLA. Michigan over Florida State. I like Bama over Michigan.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm going with Bama, Gonzaga, Baylor, Syracuse.
Okay, so you got those.
Those are my Final Four.
Then I got Gonzaga, Michigan, Arkansas, Syracuse. All right, so there's some
pretty similar.
Yes, so there's some similar teams. There's obviously some others in there. Point is, it'll be fun.
If Mullet Man on Baylor plays half as good as he did against Wisconsin, Baylor will be just fine. Because I think so too. Like an absolute monster.
Yeah, I mean,
Might be the ugliest motherfucker in the tournament, but he looked good.
I mean, I'm not fighting that.
Looks like Morgan Wallen.
Honestly, I would not. Yes, isn't he being canceled?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I pretty much it'll be fun. It's gonna be a fun last 16, and I think just as it always is, I think there's
gonna be madness.
One more kind of upset that's left. I don't think it'll be Oral Roberts like you, but I do think it'll be Syracuse. To be honest, I'm hard on this Syracuse train.
I would agree with that. I mean,
that's
Buddy he's a stud.
Right. So, who did you have for your final two for your national championship?
I didn't even say it, to be honest.
I think you should.
I mean, I was going to kind of wait till next week till we actually.
Well, I said mine, so you should.
But all right, let's go with. I think Gonzaga is too good to not put him in it, even though that would be a tough game for them against probably Michigan or Alabama, one of the two. I don't really even know. Oh, wait, no, I already said Alabama. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alabama, Gonzaga. I'm taking Gonzaga in that one.
And then you got Syracuse and
then Syracuse,
Baylor, right?
Baylor's gonna win that one. So battle of the 1 seeds for the title.
You got so you're the 2 1 seeds, dude.
Normally, no. Normally, I'm kind of against that, but I think Gonzaga is hungry. I mean, they were undefeated and still are undefeated. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't see how you can't put them in it. They've been dominant all year.
Yeah. I had to play it all. Obviously.
Baylor's gotten hot at the right time. So, I mean,
see, they
as far as who
cooled
wins it,
off in there.
I think Gonzaga, however you say it. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm probably.
I've heard it both
all
ways.
wrong.
Probably, yeah. It's probably like in Gonzaga or something like that.
Yeah, it's just something
just
that's
so
just totally that's just totally off.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, but I think I got to go Gonzaga for the win.
Had a boy.
Completely undefeated season.
Yeah, I never thought that I would have
a number. Man really shows up again.
I never thought that I would have a number 1 playing a number 11 seed in the finals. But I have that now.
That happening. I don't see that happening at all.
I mean, I don't know. I am on this Syracuse train. It probably won't happen, but I'm on it. I'm here for it. And if it happens, I am rubbing it in everybody's face. I'm going crazy on the pod. I am just, you will not hear the end of it. But again, probably won't happen. Yeah, so I say to with that we shall move on to our ending. It is about that time, is it not?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's wrap up time. So what do you got as far as closing thoughts there, Stud?
My closing thoughts are as follows. You have 1 week left to get 15% off the merch that this man is sporting on our YouTube channel. For those of you on Spotify, go check it out. We are on YouTube. We are on all socials. Go check us out. Check out our merch. Support us because we love you. We appreciate you. We would love to see you sporting all of our merch. We would love all of your support, all of your love, and just thank you for tuning in. So how about that quote, bud?
All right. Quote of the week this week is going to be from a guy named Matty Mullins. Not really sure who that is, but I like what he said. He said, the only person you should strive to be better than is the person you were yesterday. So give yourself a look in the mirror. Just make yourself better every single day. Follow us on all of our socials. Check out the merch. Rep the merch. Take advantage of the 15% off. Thank you again for tuning in. We appreciate your continued support. We'll see you next time.